we have a very great connection. Actually, I'm very excited to hear that I am still living and will be able, and hopefully will be able to witness one person who was my great mentor, one person who taught me so many things, going to be beatified. And is something which I have never thought would even happen. But I think this is the man who really, really deserves everything. If it was in my power, I would make him a saint immediately because of my closeness with him, because of what I witnessed him doing. I worked with this man, Dr. Ambrosoli or Father Ambrosoli, when I was very, very young. I think I was just 20, 22 when I worked with him. And for me, the most interesting part was to see his dedication, his love for the people and his work, and his commitment to his community at the same time. And as a young religious growing up, I was able to witness that type of commitment. Someone who was working beyond the normal time, and at the same time, he would go back to the community and he would render services to his community members. And not only that, I witnessed Dr. Ambrosoli getting out from the operating theater after like 7 hours of work, starting from 8 in the morning until 3 o'clock, without eating except drinking maybe a cup of tea or a cup of coffee, which all of us were taking. This man would go back. He was not taking his rest. He would take a very fast meal, maybe some food left over. And what surprised me, he would go to the chapel after that to pray. After praying, he would go back to work. So we who are very close to him, we who are growing near him, knew more or less his timetable was work, prayer, and his community. And then the commitment to the people was amazing. What struck me in the operating theater with him was he was keeping maximum sterility. He wanted nobody to get any infection after working on him. And he wanted everything to be very clean. So I personally had to learn that everything must be sterile, because if someone gets infection on the ward, Dr. Ambrosoli would trace from where the person was operated what you who are working together with him touched. And so we knew where to be very clean. Everything was to work very well. And so that's what I saw. I remember Dr. Ambrosoli was a motivating factor in my life. And I realized he actually recognized that I had some potentials of working together. And not only at that time, he knew maybe I had the possibility of helping others later. And sometimes when he saw that I was getting tired or discouraged, he would say, no, go on, sister. You need to learn what I'm teaching you, because one day you will be very useful to the people. And I still recalled a very great moment when on a weekend like Saturday, Dr. Ambrosoli would make sure he's operating on people's eyes, cataract, which is a very delicate operation. And it was only me who would support him. I would do that operation with him, and he would give me some small needles to thread, and I was able to thread that needle and pass to him immediately. And he was saying, you have very good eyes. Your eyes are like the eyes of a witch doctor. One day you are going to be very helpful to people. I'm very happy and to see you are able to catch all what I'm teaching you. And so that was a motivating factor for me to learn and really be able to apply that in future. And all what Dr. Ambrosoli was telling me and all what he was teaching me became so useful to me when I went back to work in Moyo Convent, where there was the war going on. People all ran away. The hospitals were all closed. It was me running a health center, which turned out to be like a hospital. Many people were being brought who were hurt by bullets or people who had some problems. I was using the method Dr. Ambrosoli taught me, how to stop bleeding, how to close it, how to make sure there is no infection. and I saved so many people. And his words got stuck in my head that your eyes are like the eyes of a witch doctor. You have very good eyes, and you will be able to help people one day if you learn what I'm teaching you. Midwife, but I got more experience in the operating theater. I got a lot of experience in sewing or stitching people, and that's why for me the word stitching remained great. Mending broken pieces remained great. To the end, up to today, I make sure that I apply the needle and sewing as part of Sewing Hope. It all started with Ambrosoli.
What do we know about his death?
Yes.
When he died.
When he died, I was already in Gulu. I started pursuing another studies in order for me to be able to go back to college, to the university. And it was painful for me to hear that he died. I didn't believe it. I actually argued with the person who told me. I said, no, he's not dead. And later, when they told me it is true, it is confirmed he's dead, it was very painful. To me, it was a kind of death which might have been avoided. But at the same time, I talk as a human being. Maybe God had a really plan for him to die at that moment in the most painful situation where he could not be helped, he could not be rescued. When he helped so many people, he rescued so many people. But I think for me, it was God's plan. And positively, I should say, to see that he died among his people and died like his people in a very poor way was very, very powerful to me.
The last question I would like to ask you about the message of his life for the generation and so on. But as I was told by Father Ramos, was impressed with the sound that you call the simpliness, the love of people, the love of himself to the poor. And so, and on his grave is the God is love and we serve to the. So, if you can share with, because he was giving for sure you some advices, some message, some of life, some wisdom. Because
You know what I saw of Dr. Ambrosoli was love for the people, but love which is above self. He was totally above himself. He did not live for himself. It was like Jesus was pushing Ambrosoli to do all what he was doing. He was living all for the people. And Dr. Ambrosoli would not hesitate to lift even a dirty child. He would just be there for everybody. And if you now think about it now, you'll wonder, you'll know straight away there was some kind of strong power that was pushing Dr. Ambrosoli to love people, to give himself for the people. And I didn't believe that Dr. Ambrosoli was a person living very poorly, in a very simple way. I went one day to use bedroom. I was shocked. In a very simple bedroom. And what I realized later when I went to Italy and visited his home, I was shocked to see that Doctor comes from a very rich home. Ronago, Ambrosoli, they are producing honey. But this is the man who was living simply, and all the wealth he has was for the people, to promote the poor. That surprised me quite a lot. And that tells me how holy this man was, that he abandoned all the wealth in the family, the physical wealth. He was only giving wealth spiritually to the people. That was my witness.
and you have this painting that Dr. Ambrosoli holding the child on the hands from where?
That is Kalongo. I think he's one of the children there. And I think that is great because that is exactly himself. And I remember Dr. Ambrosoli, he was not one who would be even scared of any dirt, even dirty wounds. He would make you laugh and make you happy, make you feel if you are his patient, you will not feel the pain. He operated on me, and now I just think, oh, I have a scarf which was operated by a holy person. When I was operating that day, I didn't like to admit I was having appendicitis. I kept on helping him carrying patients, and he said, "Where is sister? She's supposed to be the next patient." So I went, I was prepared, taken on the operating theater. I was scared, I didn't like the operation. And he kept on telling me, be calm, there's nothing wrong. So when he started cutting me, I moved, I was scared. He said, no, be calm. And I asked him, I said, I'm thirsty, I need water. And I still remember that fun. He said, we are sending someone to fetch the water in the river. They will soon come. So I knew he wanted me to keep quiet. And I kept quiet. But that is exactly what Ambrosoli would do with any patient. One remarkable thing which I witnessed was if he was working on a patient and the patient's life was like going, or the patient was in danger, Ambrosoli would leave the operation and would move and give the holy anointing. I witnessed that. That was powerful. To know that he lived his priesthood, he lived his profession, all in a holy way was very, very powerful. And if there is any painting, I think the life of Ambrosoli cannot be painted all. He lived it all for the people.
Point.